Book review by Christian Girlie. This one is H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. Okay, so my name is Lindsay Forkel. I'm a Christian author and avid reader. I have 9 books out and published, and usually I don't read like straight up sci-fi. Like, I'll do like sci-fi dystopian, sci-fi like post-apocalyptic sometimes, but it's usually like a YA, more of like a youthful, like Hunger Games. That's not sci-fi. Like, I like Star Trek as far as watching, but as far as reading, it's just kind of, I'm more picky about it because I just lose interest whenever it gets very, very, very detailed. But let me tell you, I wanted to read this book because I heard about the War of the World podcast. Now, if you haven't heard about what that is, it is a crazy thing that actually happened, and I'll link below the podcast that I listened to that really showed me the War of the Worlds podcast. It is an amazing thing to listen to. I'll drop it below, but it's a comedy podcast called Things I Learned Last Night, and that is what kind of got me on this whole journey of wanting to read this book. So I found it secondhand. It's obviously not brand new, but I opened it up and decided to start reading it. Now, this book is 200 pages long, just about, and it's divided up into 2 parts. It has a book 1 and book 2. And basically, it is about London and these spacecrafts, these like pods dropping down into Earth, and this one man's experience through it all as he, loses his family, watches people die, watches all these horrific things happen, watches these creatures take over the world. And so it is an older book. I don't know the exact year this was written, but let's just say it's not new by any means. I am not the first one to ever read this book, but it was basically clean for the entirety of it. I think there might have been 1 or 2, minor curse words here or there, but I would definitely recommend this to Christian people who are looking for something sci-fi to read that isn't like L. Ron Hubbard, which is like cult-like, but isn't also just straight up like young adult, because some people don't like this. Like, if I was a guy, I'd probably like this more because I know more men like this type of reading, but I was definitely very curious about this book. The writer of this also wrote The Invisible Man and The Time Machine, which are very, very classic books. This is a very classic book. But basically, the War of the Worlds broadcast was this man named Orson Welles made a radio version of this book, and people tuned into it at the wrong time, and hundreds of people, I don't know the exact number, basically tuned in to listen to this broadcast, and they thought that it was actually happening. So they thought the things from this book were actually happening because it was put into like a show type of manner for the radio. And so people were freaking out and thinking that it was real, but it actually wasn't. And I can't imagine how scary that must feel. So like I said, I'm gonna link that podcast below. You should definitely listen to that. You should definitely pick up this book. Even the regular price on it is $5.99. This is the Signet Classic version, but like I said, I got mine secondhand for like $2. So it is not a hard book to acquire. I would check it out. It is just, it was so interesting. I can't even, it was such a good book. But yeah, you need to check it out. And it has a good ending too. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to me on all platforms. Subscribe to this channel. Follow me on everything at author Lindsay Forkel. And happy reading.